Fellas, there is a sneak BOYSCAST launch of the new Fellas designs that's supposed to come out Monday, but it's going to come up a couple days earlier. So if you guys can go before anything sells out, Ryan Long Comedy or RyanLongStore.com. I'm not going to announce it anywhere else. There's like 3 new designs. Everything else is restocked, and as you know, things do sell out. RyanLongStore.com. Go there, check it out. Badass designs. And then also next weekend, me and Danny will be in Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, and then after that, Austin, Detroit, Portland, Phoenix, Plano, Toronto, and Baltimore. Okay, sorry again for being one day late.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
Ho, you fat! Coming down the court.
And he's with the dunk. Ho, you fat.
We got another 3-pointer there from Ho, you fat. Ho, you fat.
Yeah, it's when
They
you start
say it like
emphasizing
that.
the wrong words. Like, is there any emphasis on
fat.
one of those 3 words?
The new basketball player, his name's Ho, you fat.
What is, like, that seems like it would be a Chinese name.
I thought he was Chinese for sure.
Right? Because I guess Ho.
What is he?
He's like African.
Well, that's
guy.
weird.
What is like
Colonized, maybe? We got a...
by China?
And we got another free throw from Ho, you fat. Ho, you... That would be the announcer and just staring at the other girl while
like
you
he
do it.
needs to play for the Harlem Globetrotters.
Anytime, yeah. That's definitely where at the club you go, oh, you fat, and then he's behind you. You know what I mean? You go, what? Did you just call me? Behind you. Hey, it's me, the basketball player.
Steve, Ho, you fat.
He's driving down the court. Oh, you fat. And he's in the food court. Oh, you fat. Stole food, now you in court. Oh, you fat. Your weight so big you'll break a quart. Oh, you fat. Hey, baby.
That'd be a good.
Hey, baby.
For your girl's like birthday, you get him like do not a cameo, but you go get the signature. You go, baby, I got you a signature from your favorite.
From my new favorite player. Oh, you fat.
Just Ho, you fat.
Yeah, so I've definitely, I'm going to be saying, oh, you fat a lot. Oh, you fat. Yo, are you that basket player? Yo, oh, you fat.
Yeah, just anybody, just walking around.
Oh, you fat.
It's a great jersey, although this is one of those lame sleeve jerseys.
Yeah, whatever. I actually saw that too, and I was looking at it, and I was thinking, oh, you fat jersey would be nice, and it's a super stalker style.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Lame.
Speaking of clothing articles,
Yeah.
so I just got back from tour.
Clothing time.
Yeah. Clothing time. You don't have to wear some, but you can be naked. So there's like an in-between. You want to do a moo-moo for like Jen Danny's mom style.
Oh, yeah.
I was in Cleveland, and there was this lady that I was in the convenience store, and I was trying to buy like a charger for something, right? And there's a big line, right? And this lady starts looking at me, and she goes, ugh. You know, like when
really?
You know what I mean? Someone just wants your attention for something.
Being
She
grumpy.
goes, ugh. And I go, and I just start, I'm trying to
Like
look forward,
Mr.
right?
Bean, like a Mr. Bean kind of thing.
No, it's equivalent of like if I was watching TV and I was like, oh, and then you were like, what?
What?
Like,
What? Yeah,
it
it's
was
like a
that.
girlfriend thing.
It's
You
a
know, what
girlfriend
is
thing. Yeah,
it?
what is it, right? She was trying to she wanted me to ask, right?
Right.
And then I was like looking for it. I'm not engaging. And then she goes, so eventually just launches into it. She goes, those bandanas, made in China. Can you believe that?
Oh, she was trying to be like.
So she was mad that the bandanas at the convenience store were made in China. And I go, oh, crazy. And I just kept looking back at the front. And then she picks them up and she goes, anywhere else in the world. And I go, oh, where you would rather be made here, I guess, or something. And then she was like, anywhere other than China. And I go, all right.
She was trying to get you into her shit.
She was really hyped up, and she was flipping out.
She's not gonna be happy when she finds out where everything else is made.
And they weren't even American flag bandanas. We're talking like
Oh,
a fucking
just-
cheap camo bandana. She didn't like the brown and white.
Was she in the market for one? Like,
No,
was
she had no interest in buying a bandana.
She just looks at the tags of everything.
I think she was paying for gas.
Lunatic.
She's fine with the gas prices, but she did not like the bandana situation. It was pretty crazy, dude. She was going off.
Anybody else she was trying to get their attention?
There was a lot of Cleveland stuff that was wild. Yeah, no, everyone was there. There was like probably 10 people in the line, and I was the only sucker that got into it because she was right in front of me.
That's what headphones are for.
Yeah, I guess I could have been like headphones or whatever. And then the other one, I had a pretty good one where one of the people that was driving me from gig to gig, this lady who was actually super nice, but then she started getting into the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like,
Chicks love Jeffrey Dahmer.
oh, her beef was she was like, because I think I don't
He
even
was
know
a
if we mentioned
serial
this.
murderer?
No, she
Fine
liked
with
that
that,
part.
fine
That
with
part,
that,
that
fine
part
with
got her
that,
fucking
yeah.
rocks off, eh?
Yeah.
But no, her beef was that that basically the priest came by at the end and said he's going to heaven because he
Yeah.
repented, right? And there's some
Last episode stunk.
there's some I didn't watch it, but there's some debate within the religious communities whether or not he has a spot in heaven or not, right?
Well, if Hitler's in heaven, why isn't Jeffrey Dahmer
Well,
in heaven?
if you repent, you get to go to heaven according
That's
to
the deal.
Catholics, I
That's
guess,
the
right?
deal.
But not according to her religion. She's Christian. And in her, maybe I'm misinterpreting, but this is what she told me. She's like, well, no, that's why Catholics are wrong. And it was like, it's funny to see in like
so
some.
she's saying he is in heaven.
She's saying he's not.
Not.
But she was pissed off that she was like, you know how you'll see people like Muslims and Jews have fights?
Yeah.
She had like an old school like beef with
Of
Catholics.
course, it's like one of the oldest like beefs. It's like
I know, but you don't see that a lot anymore.
No.
You kind of those get sort of clumped into the same thing, sort of like Indians and Pakistani. How everyone's
I mean, I
like,
feel like in like Ireland or something, like we're like call them like they're like it's like the Catholics and the Protestants, and
That's
they're,
what it
like,
was.
They're killing each other.
they're
over
still
their-
fighting over this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Indian and the Protestants, where it's like you have a dad being the Indian guy will be like, my dad hates Pakistan and my dad hates Indians, and you're like, guys, they're both right. Yeah, I said that. But the Catholic, she was like flipping out on them, and she was going off about and that's why their religion makes no sense.
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. But
But it's like literally two different things.
well, she's
The whole
saying,
thing.
well, in her thing, she started going off. She goes, listen, like I have a friend that he did all this bad stuff and he's repented, but I don't know. Will it be enough? Like, I guess we'll see.
Like she's waiting to.
She said God can see what's in your
I love how
heart.
she's certain that she's getting to heaven. too, though.
She's going in. She's pretty nice. I think
just
she
a
will
lot.
be.
Oh, okay.
She was very nice. She thinks that some of these other people, they think can just kill people their whole life and then go to heaven. She don't think it works
honestly, what she's saying seems pretty reasonable.
like that. But it is actually more reasonable than the Catholic. If Catholics think Jeffrey Dahmer goes to heaven, I think your heaven means nothing then.
yeah. It's like so anybody's there as long as the last deathbed fucking changes their mind.
Well, that is the loophole, right? You go, actually, but then they say it has to be real. That's their thing. They go, well, it had to be true.
Yeah, that show literally like it was like this is cool for a bit, and then I go this should have been a 90-minute movie, not 10 1-hour episodes.
That's
Like
every
so many things
documentary.
now. I know.
Every documentary is 9 documentaries.
I know, but and you're just like this. There's no reason that this needs to be 10 hours.
No, they got to do fucking 9 things.
because
on the
really,
guy's sister or
it
some
is a
shit.
10-hour movie.
Yes.
If you're allowed to binge watch it, you just made a 10-hour movie with like a tiny break in between.
That's why we have friends that made documentaries
Yeah.
and we see them and there's 6 episodes and you go one episode, you go, really? The truck driver that was a pretty small part in this whole thing needs a whole episode, does he?
course.
You talking the
course.
truck driver's aunts now? So
I actually might be making a documentary
what are you gonna make a talk about?
about that Peter Schickele guy. I've been getting
You love
dude,
it.
dude. I've been getting
You're obsessed with
dude.
it.
I've been getting deep. Did I tell you that we asked? So for people who don't know, because I've been talking about this
You have
nonstop.
so many projects.
Dude, this guy Peter Schickele won the Grammy Award. I talked to a guy this morning who was on the
You're
Grammy.
obsessed
Dude,
with
I
this
talked to
guy.
a guy this morning who was on the Grammy committee.
Okay.
Okay, like I'm literally like calling people.
All right,
being
tell
like,
people the skinny
Okay, so
of
this
what
guy,
it is
Peter
first.
Schickele, he's like a composer. He is an orchestra guy. He went to Juilliard. He won Best Comedy Album at the Grammys in 1990, 1991, 1992, 1993.
Somehow he won the best comedy album 4 times over like Dice Clay.
He beat
everyone.
Dice. He beat Sam Kinison. He beat George
And no one's
Carlin.
ever heard of this guy.
Nobody's ever heard of him. Dude, Dice was at the stand last week, and I go to Joe, our buddy Joe Harari, who's the manager. It was Dice's birthday last
Okay.
Thursday. So I go, can you please go ask him about this guy, Peter Schickele?
Oh!
I'm like, I'm not going to bother him on
He's
his
a
birthday.
nobody. Oh,
Dude, he goes to ask him about he goes, at first Dice goes, yeah, what? He's like, I'm the biggest comedian in the world. You think the Grammys are going to let me win? Of course not, right? And they go, and then he was like, but do you know who this guy is? He goes, no, I don't know who he is. Nobody knows who he is.
What the hell?
It's the
Is
weirdest
this sort of like a
fucking-
Shazam situation? You know what I mean?
Shazam, the movie with Shaq?
No, the thing where they say that we remember something that didn't happen.
Oh, no. Like, dude, it's...
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what's Shazam?
You don't know that thing that everyone says on the internet? Remembering a movie that didn't happen?
Shazam?
Oh my God, dude.
Not the No, I don't know.
Talk about your fucking.
Anyway, so
man
this
crush.
guy is not my man crush, but I'm going to track him down. I talked to a guy who was on the Grammy committee today, and the guy thinks that he thought
Mandela effect.
Oh, Mandela effect. Yeah. He thought that the Grammys was bullshit, and this guy who literally used to be a Grammy voter, but then wrote an article about like the secrecy behind it, and then got booted, which is how he got booted from the Grammy committee for writing this article about how it works.
Shazam, the Sinbad movie that doesn't exist. Thank you very much.
The Sinbad movie. I thought that was Shaq.
Can't believe you don't
I thought
know
it was
this.
Shaq.
If you spent a little less time focusing on your boyfriend.
Dude, I'm literally like fucking Pepe Sylvia right now with the red strings being like going nuts about this. But so anyways, this guy's theory, I talked to him this morning and he goes, I think what happened is he figured out how
Talk to who this morning?
This guy who used to be a Grammy voter.
Wait, you're talking to him?
Yes. I had a hour-long phone call this morning with
Stop
this
it.
guy. I swear to God.
So that's what you got so deep that now.
I'm so deep because everybody who I keep telling about this is they're like, Danny, you have to keep going with this. Like every single person I've asked, and they're like, yeah, this is insane.
So you're gonna go visit him?
Yeah, he lives in New York. No, I didn't talk to Peter Schickley. I talked to the Grammy guy. The guy who used to be on the Grammy committee, who got fired because he's telling me how it works. And he goes, I'm pretty sure that this Peter Schickley dude figured out how to game the Grammys. And he just did it as a big joke to win them.
How do you game them?
Because so essentially the guy goes like, on these categories that aren't the big categories, and I guess comedy falls under that, not that many people are actually voting. It's like this whole anonymous thing. And because he's an actual orchestra musician who like has all these musician friends who are probably in the academy, he could just submit himself and then tell his buddies to go vote for him.
So if he can get like 30 people to vote for him,
kind of like that's the guy goes. He's like, there's way less.
He
people
knows
who
everyone
vote.
in the academy.
Yeah, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people. So this guy's like, there's way less people who vote for this than you think. So
Like
he's
it's
like,
200.
Yeah, so he's like, honestly, for these categories, because he's like, no, for the best polka album, he's like, nobody actually listens to it. Nobody knows.
Gotcha. It's
So-
Weird Al every year.
Right, or whatever. So he's like, I'm pretty sure my guess is that he figured out a way and he was just doing this as a joke against the Grammys to game the dude. His bio, like if you go to
What
this
did you
guy's-
guys talk about on the phone?
I was just telling. I go, how does this all work? I'm like,
You're sitting
and
there
I told-
smoking a cigarette, like where? do
Dude,
we
I'm
begin?
telling you, this is driving
It's
me
1942.
nuts. It's driving me nuts. And yeah, he's just like,
Are you having sex, like, and you're just like mid
Chocolate.
sex, like, yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Everybody thinks I'm a lunatic because I'm like, I keep bringing this up.
You brought it up to me 40 times. Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, when Dice goes, the guy who like Dice got nominated one time.
He won 5 years in a row.
No, yeah, this guy won 4 years in a row. Dice was nominated once, was the biggest comedian in the world, and you go, do you know who the guy who beat you at the Grammys was? He goes, never heard of him.
4 years in a row, he beat you too.
No, he only beat him 1 year in a row because Dice only got nominated that 1 year.
But he pays attention. We pay attention to who wins the best comedy.
You think that, but every comedy autistic nerd that I've talked to, who's like, everybody's like, I'm a encyclopedia. So far, one person has ever heard of this.
And
guy.
what did he say about him?
He goes, and his thing was, he goes, yeah, I'm a huge classical music guy. That's why.
So
I know
you're
about
gonna
him.
do a documentary on this guy?
Maybe, yeah. I've been talking to another guy I was talking to. Is this guy David Silverman?
Does it end with you and him getting married?
Maybe. And no, it ends with me tracking him down because he lives in New York, but he's 87 years old. I've emailed him.
If you don't have him, you don't have a documentary.
Of course, right? So that's the whole thing is I got to get to him. But his bio and stuff. If you look at his Twitter bio, it just says like or Instagram bio. It says. Composer, musical satirist, something else.
Doesn't
reference
Grammy.
the 4 straight Grammys for best comedy album. Like it's so crazy that he doesn't even talk about it.
Right.
He's like avoiding the whole thing.
Well, why is he avoiding it?
I don't know. Like why would you not say like, hey, I won 4 Grammys in a row?
What's he hiding? Yeah.
Something is being hidden. I'm telling you, something is going on here.
That is obsessed with it.
There's just
that is a good
crazy.
documentary to make, because you need to have a little obsession to make these documentaries.
I know, and the fact that he's here, and then our boy Dave from Canada, he made this hilarious fucking like cover of like it's called Stolen Laughter, and it's his face. And it's
Well, you gotta better stop trashing him if you're trying to get him in your doc.
Well, he hasn't watched. He's not on the internet.
You don't know, dude. You don't know what he's capable of.
I don't know.
This guy could be capable of anything.
Dude, I don't know. Anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about it. But.
For
now.
Yeah. We'll see.
Dude, for now, it just boggles my mind that nobody's heard of him.
I've never heard of him.
Nobody has.
Yeah, I feel like the first 2 times you told me too, I was just like, what are you going on about?
Yeah.
Now I sort of get
Dude, but
more
every
why you
person
care
I
so
keep
much.
telling this to, I tell them the story and they go, this is insane.
Right.
Like every person, I went on Revenge of the Sis. I told them all about it. They go, "This is crazy."
Yeah, you seem to be pretty into it.
I am. It's fun.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll add some financing in the doc if you actually make it.
Okay.
To make up for the fact that I don't really care that much.
My hope is
I'm
that
having trouble caring about this guy.
my hope is that I don't know. My hope is that he had like some major dirt on like some Grammy.
Well, that's
like,
maybe what it is.
which
Yeah.
it's a cool story though if it is.
Yeah, he blackmailed someone or something.
Or if he really did it as a joke, as like a fuck you to the Grammys, and they I don't know, pass under the radar 4 years in a row. But it's like he beat Weird Al the year Weird Al sold 2 million copies for that Nirvana album.
Yeah, how many podcasts have you think you talked about this on?
3.
I would say that's about low balling.
Does my own count?
Yes.
4.
Yeah. He's probably getting up there now. You think he's unknown? How unknown's the guy that only talks about him gonna?
You know what the problem is too? Is I was kind of hoping that I would talk about this and someone would.
Is your chick getting pretty fed up with this?
No, I haven't even really talked to her about it. But
Is it becoming almost a problem a little?
you know what the thing is that
You're gonna be going to a therapist.
it is.
You're
Yeah.
gonna be in the padded walls going on. About
Dude,
this
I've been
guy.
saying that honestly. And the thing I was really hoping for is I would tell this to someone and they just give me the explanation and then I just move on with it.
Because you know people in comedy.
Because we know everybody in comedy, but the problem is everything that everyone tells, it just pushes me further into this is insane.
Well,
because everybody else keeps saying
everybody
it's
else
insane.
is sort of like they say, "Oh, that's crazy," and then they sort of look back and they go, "Woo!" They go, "Danny's losing it."
Yeah, he goes, Danny, all right? He's talking about this composer, dude.
This poker
It's
guy.
like nobody ever heard of him.
This ends with you in padded walls. That's where the doc ends. Know where this ends? This guy and you in padded walls and Peter Schickley as the co-host of the Boys Cast.
I fucking hope so, man.
It's me and him, and he'd be like, "Yeah, that guy wouldn't leave me alone, dude."
Yeah.
I go, "I don't know."
I don't know. It's fucking. The problem is, there's a couple of people who are like, yeah, but it's the Grammys, you know.
Okay.
Like the Simpsons guy who I was talking to was like, he sent me.
You got a Simpsons guy?
the director of the Simpsons movie. And
You've been gabbing it up with him about shit,
yes,
really?
Yeah, because I found a Shickley tweet and he replied to it. So then I messaged him and I clicked on his profile.
What'd you say? What do you say? Like,
So
I'm trying to find
this
this
guy followed me already. So then
Okay.
I DM him and he's like an OG animator of The Simpsons from 1987. Like he's like,
and you said, "Hey, what's going
I
on?"
go,
with
hey,
this
what's the
Schickley
deal with
guy?"
this guy? You know him? And he goes, I go, how did he win 4 Grammys? He's like, honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either.
And he goes, yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't know. He's
They're
like,
all
he's
sworn to secrecy.
something going on.
Hollywood's secrets.
Something going on. I don't know. That's all I can say. Said too much.
Well, speaking of comedy in Toronto, if you're in Toronto, October 15th, our boy Paul Thompson is doing his first comedy
Oh,
special.
yeah.
It's going to be
He's so
super
funny.
fun. Paul Thompson is paulthompsonfineart.com, so you can get tickets there. We're shouting that puppy out. So
Yeah.
there's only like 30 tickets left. So go, and like some of our other super funny friends are going to be on there. But
Yeah, highly
and then-
recommend.
Yeah, go check out his comedy special. Anyone who used to go to the corner or whatever knows that he was like the man. But probably there's a couple of small things before I actually do have some of the best articles in a while this week. Is the first one. Probably like the most fucking joke shit ever. It's like, you know how Mark Wahlberg said that he would take down the 9/11 plane?
Yeah.
So new Mark Wahlberg thing is he was doing an interview and he said that he could play 18 holes of golf in less than an hour.
Which
thanks
is
to cardio.
insane. By the way, as someone who golfs, they're like, we have a group of friends and we always go slow and like we get literally like they come up to us and be like, yo, you got to pick it up.
Right.
And we're playing like 4.5 hour rounds.
He says he does.
Some people play 5.
Well, you have to be running, and he says, he goes, I would tee off at 6 a.m. and then run down the golf course. We'd hit a drive and then just sprint to the ball, and then the caddies would come with the carts. So, can you imagine if you were, first of all, anyone that's in front of him, imagine this would be a nightmare, the guy behind you. He's like, you look behind you, a guy's sprinting full speed, and it's Mark Wahlberg. So he has to use the same club the entire time, probably.
No, because he's meeting the cat. So the caddies drive up to the ball.
Okay, then why? Then sprinting didn't help if the car got there first. The whole purpose is he's sprinting so he gets there before the caddy.
is true,
But if you're
yeah.
still waiting for the caddy, then how does the sprinting even help?
Maybe he just hits and then he grabs the club he needs. But the problem is like the thing is sometimes you don't know what club you need until you're like, I'm in the woods.
Yeah.
I need this club. I'm
He
on
has
the
to use
fairway.
the
I'm
same
in the
club
rough.
every time.
Well, no, because he's hitting a drive. You can't hit a drive.
Well, who's
from
doing
fairway.
this with him too? He has to be by
Nobody.
himself.
By himself, for
But
sure.
the funny part is with this stuff. It's like it's one thing if you're like, hey, I've got this crazy guy I know that tries to be the first guy at the course and runs the course and plays with one club, and you're like this psycho we know. It's a whole other thing if it's Mark Wahlberg hitting a ball.
I guess the caddy
and
would be waiting out on the fairway.
sprinting as fast as he can.
There was a guy on the PGA Tour who did that this year, but I think
He sprinted between balls.
yeah, he was running because he figured
Why?
someone told him because he was. I think he had
Keep
already
the
been
heart rate up
No, he had already been eliminated from a tournament, or like he was going to miss the cut, or like whatever. So
for
it
being
didn't-
too slow.
No, for just his score. And then someone told him like what the record was, and I think as a joke, he's like, you know what, I'm just going to go for the
Oh,
record.
as a joke
He's like, whatever, I'm over anyways.
for the fastest time.
and so I'm just going to try. And he was sprinting from thing to thing.
Well, that's a joke.
But that was like
Mark
a
Wahlberg
joke.
does
This
it
is
dead seriously.
That's a lot of running, dude.
It's ridiculous.
Like you're talking about, assuming you don't hit any shanks, you're still doing like 6,000, 7,000 yards.
Dude, if you had the guy behind
This is
you,
not that
on the
crazy.
hole behind you, you see him sprinting towards you. So Mark Wahlberg's full of baloney, but I love it. This is what I've been saying this forever, though. That this is what action stars should be. Is they should a little bit believe that they are.
Oh,
the
in
action
real life,
star.
yeah.
And I've been saying that forever. One of the biggest reasons is that like Jason Momoa's stinky action star is he doesn't. He's like. He comes out there and tries to play a tough guy, and then he goes back. And then after the action star movie's done, he goes and talks about how women are so great.
Of course,
and
yeah.
He's actually like how his wife's everything he has is because of his wife, and we need to do better with the environment and just fucking pussy Hollywood shit, right?
Yeah.
You need an action star who's like, Hollywood needs me. Like you want an action star who's like, there's no movie in the world that if I wasn't the star of wouldn't be the number one hit in the box office. Like
course.
that kind of cocky energy.
Yeah, he doesn't have that. I mean, because he has that, but yeah, Momoa does not have that.
No, not a chance.
I just can't. I guess he's so fit that even the running doesn't tire him. Because you're like, if you're like trying to putt and you're just like, like you're like kind of huffing and puffing, it doesn't make for good putting. I guess he doesn't care about his score. I don't know. It's a weird one.
It's so stupid, but I love it, Loki. Okay,
His friends probably fucking hate it.
his friends don't
He
go
goes,
with
hey,
him.
yeah, hey, you want to go for a round? They're like, yeah, not really. I like try to relax, playing golf.
All right, boys, I got to take a quick second here to tell the fellas about Babbel. If you're trying to learn a new language, maybe you regret not doing it in school, maybe you're traveling abroad, you want to impress the ladies, maybe you just want to have a conversation with someone that speaks a different language.
Or someone can't hear what you're saying around.
You're having trouble, or maybe you want to talk. You want to talk
on the
in
DL,
secret.
you know?
The learning language app that has sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Everyone's talking about it, and it's addictively fun and easy bite-sized language lessons. You can finally cross learning that new language off your list. With Babbel, you only need 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real-life conversations in a new language as little as 3 weeks. So if you're going on that trip, you're going to that Spanish area of America, start doing it now. Maybe I want to talk to my bodega owner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The new man.
The Newman.
The bad boy. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can access podcasts, games, videos, stories, and even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel right now. And this is a big discount here. We're getting up to 55% off with your subscription when you go to babbel.com/boyscast. That's babbel.com/boyscast for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. And also, I got to tell you, fellas, you know, we've been trying to get you off the darts, especially now in New York. You can get a smoking tax.
Smoking tax.
You
Ticket.
want to get off those darts, and we got to tell you about Fume, which I know some of you are racist, but this is a Canadian company, and we rep the Canadian companies.
Anti-Canadian racism will not be tolerated.
Not be tolerated here. The guys are cool that started this company. It's a cool company, and fumes are fun and a perfect way to get off the darts and quit smoking and vaping. You know, I've been, I always dick around with the fumes when I'm like on the tour van, when I'm editing. You're trying to get off the darts. You're trying to get off the vapes. Fume is a natural inhaler designed for better, safer, and natural way to quit cigarettes. It's a no smoke, no vape, no nicotine replacement for the hand-to-mouth habit of smoking. And then what it is these like little pipes, and they have these cores They have flavors like peppermint, conker, minty notes that simulate menthol cigarettes, cozy chai, berry bliss, and you get like a big pack with all these different ones.
Yeah.
And you take it out. It's like a white thing, and you take it out and you put the other one back in,
Ooh.
and then you go. Yeah, like it's pretty cool.
good.
And it's a kind of fun thing to just like. If you like to put stuff in, if you're like one of those guys that's always chewing on something,
Yeah,
that's a
me.
cool thing to have. Yes, exactly. So they got quitting's tough, but fume can really help. And they've got thousands of 5-star reviews from people that have tried it and worked. I've been telling everyone about it, and everyone in the comedy community is using it to curb the cravings. And I fly all the time. You can use it on the plane. And whether you're a smoker, ex-smoker who struggles with the cravings, Fume's the perfect tool for you. So head to breathefume.com/boyscast and use the promo code boyscast to save 10% off your order. So just go to the site, check it out. 10% off your order when you go to breathefume.com and use the code boyscast. breathefum.com/boyscast. Quit naturally with Fume. This is the best article I've seen in a while. Because it's our sketch. So this was the quadruple. It's only a throuple, but so sexologist Tamika Wilder opens up about living with boyfriend, husband, and kids, and every line in it, dude. There's lines in it legitimately from the sketch. It's crazy.
It is insane. A lot of crazy shit going on in Australia, right? Because
Is
we have
it?
all this is Australia. We got the Mamma Mia's, all Australia.
What's
stuff.
Mamma Mia's?
The articles we always read from MammaMia.com.
Oh, is that Australia?
That's all Australian.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of wild stuff happening down there.
Yeah, there are fucking bunch of freaks over there.
Bunch of freaks. We know a lot of listeners are from Australia.
I know.
so.
I might do that in probably a year and a half, and I'm looking at coming to London maybe next year too.
London.
I know, because I looked at it and the numbers were high, so it might
Yeah.
be worth doing. It's not that crazy of a flight either to Australia.
No, London's
London.
London's close.
But also there is something to be said about if you start dating a girl and you go, "What's her job?" and she goes, "I'm a sexologist." You know that's gonna come with some nutty shit.
Yeah.
That's what Necro. He goes, "I'm the sexorcist." Would you ever tell that to your chick and you go, "I'm bringing 3 other girls back"? You go, "Babe, I'm a sexologist. What are you supposed to do? What am I
What
supposed
did you think I meant when I said I was a sexologist?
The sexologist. That's Necro. He goes, "Necro, the sexorcist," and at the end of it, he goes, "Suffocate on a load." That's the end of the song.
That's good shit.
Necro, the sexorcist. But yeah, so she's dating. You start dating the sexologist, you're gonna have some problems.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you're asking for
You're
problems.
raising the sexologist kids, right? So Tamika Wilder, who's based in the Byron Shore, and she has her work as a sex coach, which probably the worst advice of all time. You know what I mean? That's if your girlfriend started going to a sex coach, that would make your life a living fucking hell.
Oh, brutal.
You know what? I would be one of those things where I'd be like, "You're going to this person as a sex coach once a week. Like that's the end of. I'm not participating in whatever it is.
Oh,
journey
imagine she goes
whatever
couples,
journey you're is starting.
couples sex coaching. You're
You'd
like,
come in and she'd be like, "We're starting with swings. Like, okay, we're gonna fucking work on that core.
Everybody put in their butt plugs.
Everybody put in their butt plugs. We need you hanging from your legs upside down, and your girl's got a dildo on, smashing in your face.
You're like, I hate this.
It'd be a nightmare.
Worst,
you know what I mean?
Worst thing ever.
So the sex coach, what you need is a dude sex coach that's like, you're gonna want to go in then out. It's gonna be sort of an in and out situation. You're not gonna want to go longer than 3-4 minutes. That's gonna start to hurt her.
Yeah, sex coach for the boys.
It's actually bad for the vagina if you start working. If you start passing that 4 or 5 minute mark, you're gonna be doing some damage to the downstairs.
Yeah, you will.
So I suggest you trying to figure out how to finish up within the first 4 or 5 minutes. Is for your own good, ma'am.
Yep.
That's the kind of sex coach you want, not the girl that's like, you're gonna want to block off 4 or 5 hours a day. This is so annoying.
Insane. Absolutely.
Sex
nuts.
coach. What could you possibly even get?
The thing is, she said, but
shows
this,
you- she shows
this is
you
one of those
moves.
fake jobs too, where you go like, "Oh, I'm a sex coach," and you go, "How many people do you coach?" And it's like, "I've
2.
one a month."
One a month for sure. One a
That's-
month. She helps moms who want to reconnect with their ssensuality, joy, and pleasure. She told host Maggie Kelly about what some might view as an unconventional living. That's the other part. You got your fucking mother, your kids is at the sex coach, and he goes, "What is the sex coach life like?" She lives with 9 guys. This is all her boyfriends. This is who you're getting coached by.
Yeah, there's gonna be some changes around the house. Once you
That's
start going
not
to the sex
good.
coach.
That's all. It's all. This is the peak of the thing where I say girls always give the advice that runs the other girls' lives.
Of course.
So she goes, I was very clear from the beginning of our relationship that I had a polyamorous or open relating values. And that was something that was non-negotiable in terms of my relating style. And you date the sex. Let's be clear. You date the sexologist. Sexologist is going to get some strange on the side.
Yeah, they are.
You think you're going to date the sexologist?
Research. It's sexology research.
That is, it's a research.
She's like, I'm working on my master's.
I'm doing my research. I'm researching.
I'm doing my research.
Yeah, you come home, just like 9 guys walking out. What's up? What's up, Dan? Daniel.
Yeah. Are you guys her research partners?
Yeah, you come
Are
in.
you guys all Tamika's research partners? Okay. What kind of mess we got in there? They go, oh, it ain't good.
You're mopping the floor, the ceiling.
Grab the hazmat suit because you're going to want to.
I got you some Magnum condoms as you asked for your research. Yeah, that's you mopping the ceiling with your mop.
Do you guys have to leave the ceiling fan on?
Hey, do you mind making a little bit less mess when you're researching? I do love the idea of you walking into the house and the 9 guys, Daniel, Danny boy, they all slap you on the ass.
Or giving me like, the Donald Trump handshakes, like the one where it like ragdolls you a bit. Like, I'm like, ah.
They're all giving you a rough handshake. Hey, you got a good woman in there.
Just like shaking me around.
Yeah. Hey, I wouldn't recommend she sits on hard surfaces.
Goes, we left a donut in the bedroom. She's going to want to use that for about a week.
My research. I met this person who's now my partner, and I came back home to the father of my kids and told him about this person I'd met. I'd said, I'm not willing to not see this person again. There's just something with us. It's a thread that I must follow.
Yeah, sounds like you're really leaving it open for him to say no.
No, this is at the dinner table, and then you're like, okay, and kids, how was your day?
All right.
This is so crazy, dude. It's so funny, but obviously there is, if you are some like freaky dude or whatever, there is a part of like, if you are, this is probably the biggest part where these kind of people, why they ruin people's lives so much. It's like, because if you are like a sexologist, you blog about sex, you're like living this lifestyle, and it's almost for content to some degree. You know what I mean? The same reason that like if you're a YouTuber that like causes trouble and gets kicked out of places, like getting arrested might be good for your career. Right. But if you work at General Motors, getting arrested is an insane thing to do.
Of course. And
you know what I
bad
mean?
For your career.
Right. So it's with these people. And it's the same reason why like Hollywood people can kind of pull off different relationships. That a lot of them come, you have more money. Like there's a lot of things like that, right?
Yeah.
But with her, she's given very specific advice probably that only works for one specific person, has some guy that's a super weirdo. You know what I mean?
And she's always saying like, I'm just trying to live my truth. And you're like, oh, that would be great if that didn't involve like other guys moving in.
That would be great if you're a dude that just like, you're just like smash tons of girls like her sister. And you're just like, I want to just live my truth, babe. My truth is having sex with your sister. I was just getting in touch with my truth. And I realized that my truth is smashing all the fucking hot females.
And then you got to be like, well, we're just living our truth, aren't we?
That's my truth.
Are we not doing that?
Yeah. My truth is also not telling the truth afterwards.
Living my truth is actually lying. So
everyone has their own truth. My truth involves a lot of me not telling the truth. Here she goes. Tamika made it clear that it didn't happen overnight, describing Rob's transition into the household. So he kind of, at first he just brought a few bags, maybe a backpack.
The boyfriend moving in. There's that awkward thing with the kids where they're like, you're not, he tells them something to do, and they go, you're not my father. And he's like, that's right, I'm not your father. I'm your father's wife's boyfriend, and you will give me some respect.
Yeah. I'm your stepdad, Dad. Yeah, that's right, I am. No, he goes, you're not my dad. No, he goes, that's right, but I am her dad. Yeah. I am her daddy. So I think we actually hung out with the kids once or twice on our own. And then the 2 dads hung out on their own. And then it would be all
That's a real awkward one, huh? Just sitting out there.
That's the thing with in the sketch is the 2 dads have to spend some quality time together. And then it would be all 5 of us, and we just kind of stopped gradually. No, the 2 dads is very like, oops, sorry, sorry, sorry. Oh, you're gonna take her for? Sorry, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So
you into video games? Or
yeah. What do you think?
Stuff you like?
It's way funnier if the one guy is like, if it's very much like a tough guy with leather jacket that's just here to smash the wife and doesn't want any of this stuff. You know what I mean?
He basically turns the OG dad husband into like a step kid, like the
He
way he
turns
treats him.
yes, correct. Yeah.
He goes like, "There's gonna be some changes around here."
Yeah. He sort of like bullies him a little bit, like he's eating cereal. He just says, pops it in his face. You know what I mean? No, the like the old dad's eating like an ice cream cone, and he just gives him like a little taps it into the mouth.
Gives him like the over-unders and stuff. Like
What's
like,
an over-under?
You know when someone goes in like behind you and you just push them over someone,
Oh,
like
yeah.
just all the classic.
Oh
bullying
yeah,
moves.
the kid. He gets the kid to bend down
Yeah,
and pushes
yeah.
him over.
Hip checks him and like just in the hallway.
Yeah, basically what Mark Wahlberg did to Will Ferrell
Yeah,
and Step Brothers,
exactly.
Stepdads or whatever, right? But it was also important, she explained, that Rob and Harry have lots of conversations. So this is my favorite part, because not only do they have to have the two guys living there, she insisted that on top of that, we're going to have lots of conversations, which actually sounds probably worse. Like, to me, the fact that some guy is coming and smashing the wife is probably not as bad as all the sit-down roundtable discussions you have to have about it after.
Absolutely horrible.
All the conversations, lots.
Yeah, like they have to do like a recap after like they have a
She
threesome.
wants. Yeah, but she's like, if any.
It's just spreadsheets and stuff and like.
Yeah, this is just a woman that found. You know, it's kind of like a Hugh Hefner style where it's like you have a guy that just has a bunch of girls living in it, and he's like, you know, and the best way to do this is this, and I like it this way and this way. It's like, yeah, you convinced a bunch of girls to be in your cult or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is like a woman who's, I would imagine, fairly masculine, who basically convinced like two dudes to be the woman in his cult.
Yeah, I mean, she straight up said, I guess before they got married, she said, "This is how I am." But then, like, she's like, "Yeah, I met this guy, and like, it's not up for debate whether he's gonna be
Right."
The guy goes, "Oh, okay." So
But
why
it's
are you
cult
telling me?
leader dynamic is
Yeah,
essentially what the scenario is. You know what I mean? But I feel like a guy wouldn't have the audacity, like even like mafia leaders, you know, don't have the audacity to be like, the Guma's moving in.
No, hell no.
You know what I mean? Only girls have the audacity for that kind of stuff. Like, guys at least admit that they're getting away with something when they have those scenarios. A girl would have a scenario like this and be like, no, we're all on the exact same page here, and we're going to have lots of discussions about it.
I mean, even in The Sopranos, when the one called Tony's house, like that was the ultimate, like, no,
Not
no.
great,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're like, you don't even call my house. Are you crazy?
What are you, out of your mind?
You're not you're not moving in.
Yeah, right. The communication in an open relating piece is huge. An open relating piece. A lot of people find it quite exhausting, mainly the two guys.
I find it exhausting just listening to this shit.
She goes, Dave and Rob moved in, and a lot of the guys, mainly Dave and Rob, found this very exhausting, that we had to have so many conversations, but you've got to be really on top of it. So, convo time! And then the guys are just like, you sure you don't want to just go bang him again? Probably, you know.
Yeah, can we do anything other than these fucking conversations?
I'd say it might be just time for you to get another smash in with Robbie, though, eh? Robbie, get her. Dave, Rob's like, Dave, I think you're up.
yeah. No. I did a last one.
No, he goes, no, it's the opposite. They're like, we have to pretend like I insist. You know what I mean?
No,
After
dude,
you. No,
I mean,
after you.
Look, you're the one who pleasures her the best. I wish it was me, but you just
Yeah, you just got
you
that.
lay it down so good.
You
We
got
all
the
know
golden
it.
piece from God. I would not want to disgrace her with having to go in there and give her my little piece. He goes, actually, the piece isn't as big as some people say it is. It's pretty bad, and I
No.
That
You're
time-
just being modest. You're being modest. We all know.
Yeah, but I couldn't get it up that one time. Well, but that's more work for her, and she likes the work. You know
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
So that helps her tire her out. Gives her an extra 7 to 8 minutes. Adds to the whole equation. So
He's like, and then he starts being like giving these little keys.
get
like,
in
"Shut-
there.
Go, bang my wife.
Oh, but I did it Thursday, and I gave her quite a talk. Gave her quite a dickin' Thursday. Oh yeah, but the week before that,
Maybe, yeah, and then it's like the sketch where there's like a schedule and like
and then it's cut.
they have to
yeah,
start because
exactly.
they go, oh, this isn't fair, and they go, all right, we'll do action.
Yeah, but it's the
formal
opposite.
schedule.
Them trying to put the other person
Yeah.
on the schedule. There has to be. It's either the dude's just like kind of operates like a woman in a cult, or the one that I hope it is sometimes is the guy that's just so over it, but he doesn't know how to get it. He's
Yeah.
too much of a pussy to get out, but he just wants to play video
I mean,
games.
they do
and
have
stuff.
2 kids, so he's like, maybe just like, hey, I'll just try.
Sure, but all the convos probably made it worse.
Although I imagine if he's worried about fucking up the kids, you'll fuck them up less by getting a divorce and doing split parenting than
Probably.
introducing a new guy.
yeah, probably a little. Yeah, probably this will screw the kids up a little more. I would say.
Yeah.
But especially all the convos, and the kids probably have to be there for the convos. They need to hear this. You know what I mean? Kids, this is the schedule. It's just the same as a regular relationship, she says, but
Oh,
with
yeah.
extra, pretty similar,
course.
but with extra people. There were some days we'd look at each other like, oh my God, this is awesome.
I love it. She goes, it's the same as a regular relationship, just with extra people. You're like, yeah, that makes it so different.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it not possibly more different.
Do you think that the other guys, when she looked at them, like, oh my God, this is awesome? Do you think that that's what they were also?
They go, yes, this is.
Read your mind.
Well, no, the one guy who just like needed a place to stay,
That's possible.
and he's just
too.
like conning himself into.
On the count of 3, let's say what we're both thinking. 1, 2, 3. This is awesome. Kick him out. You might also think this is awesome.
I also believe this to be awesome.
I also believe this is an awesome situation. We've changed the configuration and we've changed the living configuration. So they made some.
Do you think the 2 dudes just share one bunk bed and she has like a king size bed?
Yeah, they got 2 bunks.
The kids have bunk beds. The dads have bunk beds. She just has.
No,
a
this
king
is what
size.
happens. There's 2 bunk beds, and then she's in the like an enclave, like kind of beside the room, but it's one big room. And there's strings attached to a bell on either bunk bed, and she kind of holds them at night, and then she pulls whatever string she wants the guy
And
to
they
come.
can't fall asleep because they're just staring at the bell, hoping it doesn't go off. They're like,
Yeah.
and goes, bing, ah! Like,
I'm ready. Are you ready?
oh God, what have we gotten ourselves into?
You know, this is them, the Seinfeld episode where they're putting the tryptophan in her turkey and stuff
yeah.
like that to
Yeah.
try to get her to go to sleep. So the dads can play with the toys.
Yeah.
You know, that's, yeah. So she has like 2 bells and she looks at them and she goes, "Who am I thinking? Are we a Rob night? We a Dave night?" And then they have to scurry over and she goes, "I gave you 3 minutes. What were you doing over there?" "Oh, I was just chatting with Dave."
Just hanging out.
And the boy's dad is here like all the time. We're all really close friends. My boyfriend and the boy's dad, they hang out and go for walks and give each other hugs. Hugs? She says they're not gay, but the hugs is...
That would be the ultimate if they're just 2 gay dudes and then they really flip the tables on her.
That's a huge... And yeah,
Like she walks-
she was the breadwinner.
But I mean, yeah,
That'd be the best gay
that's
move.
not happening. But imagine she walks in on them having gay sex and then like her whole world's fucked because she's like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
And because she can't say anything, she's just sexologist. What are you, like, some
Sexologist.
prude?
Yeah, sexologist can't be against that.
Total tables. Maybe they're just like the only way out of this is if we fuck. They're like, look, I don't like this as much as you don't like this, so there's only one way out. It's like that James Franco movie.
Well,
where
I'm
he's gotta
going on
rip,
top.
cut
I'm
it-
going on
He's got
top.
to cut his arm off or whatever. This is like the equivalent. You go, fuck, I don't like this either, but we're gonna have to fuck if we want out.
There's only one way to get our old lives back. Yeah, I guess that they weigh each other to see who gets to be on top. They have like a whole system.
They're doing like the fishing, the fishing cheating scandal. The guy's like putting lead weights in his stomach just to weigh more.
Oh, yeah. But I do love the fact that you say the dads hug. I think that's one of those things where the whole family has to do the hugs, and they go, "Are we handshake? We hugging? We handing? Oh, we're doing one. Okay, we'll just do 1, 2, I guess. There. Hi. Okay. Yep. That was weird. All right, Robbie. Again, it is your time tonight. Anyways, so I had a couple thoughts on the topic of because I feel like I've been talking about how the black red bill stuff sort of taking over the internet.
Yeah.
And a lot of those clips go viral and stuff. And it kind of
Kevin-
had some
rip Kevin
thoughts of
Samuels.
well, I thought, yeah, I had a thing where I thought he was a little off too. And I was just sort of like honing my thoughts on this. But one of the things with this that I was thinking on the plane is that, you know how like girls will do things like tell other girls like be slutty and no one should care and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And obviously like, there is some guys who don't care and whatever. There's like a spectrum like anything else, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is, the telling girls to like put on weight and like be, just be like gross and put on weight
and
just,
be like
make yourself not a
promiscuous
prize.
and-
Like make
yeah.
yourself not sought after at all, essentially, right? Like
Yeah.
everything that guys
like it shouldn't matter essentially.
it shouldn't matter. You know what? The reason why girls fall for that a little bit is because it's sort of the same phenomenon as when guys like get really fat and then like take their shirt off and like become the drunk party animal.
Yeah.
Like everyone loves them except for girls. It's
Right.
sort of like that. It's like in the woman. So for girls you're really like pretending you're doing it for girls validation. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll do
Yeah,
the-
they are. They're like, what does it matter what a man thinks? That's the whole point, right?
Exactly.
They go like, what does it matter? Like a man doesn't get to have an opinion about.
But
my
isn't
body.
that very similar than like to like the fat party animal dude that actually doesn't
Kinda,
get
yeah.
chicks?
Kinda.
You know what I mean? And those guys, there always is a little bit as they get older, like, I would want a chick though.
Of course. I mean, these women, I guess,
Like,
the
it's
difference is they can get somebody.
They'll
get somebody just
smashed.
Yeah, they'll get somebody just not great. But
And then one of the reasons why girl advice is so bad for guys, and vice versa, because it kind of, whenever I like a lot of times when I'm telling people things with like women, I feel like it doesn't resonate with them that well. And one of the reasons is there's too many premises that have to be like accepted first, if that makes sense. And like, so if you're telling, it kind of reminded me of this. Like, here's a good example. I feel like I figured out a way to like say this clearly. You know, if you have a parent, and I feel like my parents a little bit like, when even doing comedy and stuff like that,
yeah,
it's not like my parents were pushy, but they were to the point. They do look at this as like something that you don't actually do for real.
Course,
like
of
it was
course.
obviously you do it at first, but that never like affected me like crazy.
Yeah.
But if ever I have a problem in the industry, like it's maybe a little bit less now, but like even like, you know, growing up, if I had a problem, like let's say like, oh, like I'm doing this TV thing and I do this, it was like, all the problems would kind of be like the overarching, well, like entertainment's very hard. Like you'd almost have to explain, you'd have to, every time before ever like talking about the thing, you need to justify the whole existence first.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like with girls, there's so many things that they don't like agree with the premises that it almost reminds me of, and I thought this is the best way to look at girl advice to a guy, is a human is like a software, right?
Yeah.
And the right advice at the right time kind of comes at you like a plug-in for your software.
Right, like a Chrome extension.
But it has to be compatible with the software.
Interesting.
So if you have like a software that's like running your life a certain way, and then like let's say your computer program is really good at this, and then they have software that's like, you know, good for like this emotional computer that kind of like thinks a certain way.
And then some of it's a virus.
Some of it, you put it
Like
in yours, it's like a virus.
It's like a virus, yeah.
It operates like a
virus.
virus.
Like a woman gives you bad advice to a dude, she just installed a virus on you.
100%, yeah. Because, so I think that the times that I'll give the ones to a woman is that like, they can't just optimize for one thing at once. I feel like they're bad at like thinking about that. So a lot of times I'll forget that I have to give them advice where it's like, okay, it's not an option to just like, not have this much like family time and not have this much. So it's like my advice is always like change the whole thing because like I'm just like this doesn't make sense how you're operating.
Yeah.
My advice
You're trying
is
to
always,
install a virus.
I'm trying to like change their operating system usually, right? And that's not going to happen.
No.
With the guys, they can modify their operating system, but I think that that's a good way to look at it. When you're looking at someone giving you advice, understand if it's like compatible with like your personality's operating system.
Oh, for sure.
It's such a good way to decide.
Also, always get a second opinion if it's anything of any sort of.
But like one thing they always say is like being great at like involves taking advice, but also involves like understanding what advice will
Not to
actually,
take, for sure.
which one will be
for
compatible. But if you think of yourself like a software with, and you're putting plugins in, I think that's like a good way of looking at it.
Interesting.
And then that led me to my last point, because I don't want to go on this forever, but it led me to my last point, which was the Kevin Samuels and a lot of people like that do say something that I've said a version of, which they always say with women, don't tell them your problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've kind of said some version of that, like, you know, there's almost no point. And their thing is like with hypergamy and stuff like that, which means girls date up. Whenever you tell a girl your problems, it's just making them.
It makes you worse in their eyes.
It makes you worse in their
For
eyes,
sure.
and they'll eventually like lose respect and love. But it's like I think that's not totally correct, because I think what the truth is if you think of yourself like a company and think about you being an employee in a company or an investor in a company or anything like that, right? Okay. If the stock's going up and the company looks like it's going up and growth is happening, they're making more money this year than they were last year, but there are problems like, you know what? We need more employees. We're having trouble with this thing. Like, like we're too overworked. We need more staff. Like, you're allowed to have problems. They just can't be stock is dropping problems.
Yeah, they can't be like fatalistic problems. Like, you don't want to be like, hey,
Exactly.
we're bankrupt. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going.
So the problem, you can
You
tell
have
girls all
minor
your problems.
which is what they want. They think, because they're like, oh, I want you to be open and tell me all your problems. You're like, no, you don't. You just want these like kind of small ones. You don't want this. You don't want the really serious ones. They want like emotional stuff.
But sometimes there is a benefit to telling a girl a bunch of problems just to get her off your back.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Just be like, oh, I'm so stressed out with this thing. And like,
I
got
go,
all
this
stuff."
Peter Shickley dude is ruining my fucking life.
So right?
Dude, that's the best one actually. You'd say that. And she goes, yeah, I don't care about this. This counts as a problem. Thank you. But also, I don't care. Guilty word.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, she goes, you just got to give the softball problems. Like it's kind of like a
They can.
you're,
Yeah,
you're
'cause I think they're not
weaponizing.
going to help that much. But I think a lot of times I talk about girls that I'm with about like things
Yeah.
that I'm dealing with or whatever. But like they can't. The underlying assumption can't be like you're fucked.
Of course.
Because then they're like, well, why am I even investing in this ship that's
Yeah.
sinking?
And the word, that obviously, and then also the advice they're gonna give to help you when they have absolutely like no concept of what's going on with that, and they're gonna like, oh, what about this? You go, like, no, like you like it's even worse because then they start giving you this bad advice and it makes you bothered that's
Totally.
like you're like, I told you, and they go, well, why don't you just like call up Saturday Night Live and ask them to be the star of it? And you're like, that's not how it works though. You go, but. Well, just go get Lauren Michaels'
give you the
number.
uncle, they give you the
yeah,
uncle
like
advice.
the uncle advice. You go, why don't you just like call up Madison Square Garden and ask if you could do a show there?
Yeah, you'd be better off them just saying you should quit than that.
Yeah, you know, at least that's just like, and I go, yeah, I'm not quitting. You go, okay.
Agree to disagree to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas that they're right because you almost rather them.
It's womansplaining. It's literally just womansplaining.
Yeah, so you don't want that. So what the?
It's like Monty's joke. You're like fixing your car, and then like your mom comes out. And you're like, don't do it like that. And you're like, fuck, do you know about fixing a car?
Yeah, no, it was the land that was fixing his house, and he goes, "I've been a landlord 4 times."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you've
No,
been a
he had
landlord
one about
0
the car
times.
too.
Oh, he has the same joke.
He had a tough week on obviously with a few of those things going on.
But yeah, I think that's the best way to like describe it is like, yeah, it's the same reason with your buddies. Like even I think it's the same with everyone a little bit. Like once in a while, there's like a fatalistic problem that I think is probably better suited for the buddies than the thing. But really, you're complaining about like some idiot at work or this and
Yeah.
that. Like you have problems, but they're not like you're still stable because no one likes someone that it's like the whole thing's a mess.
No.
Like
I mean, some
that's-
people do actually.
Well,
but
they
that-
might.
that-
Some girls like a fixer-upper that they can own, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but their lives are generally messes too. It's not like they have everything together and they just want some complete disaster.
And also, you'll lose all the hand in the relationship in return for being that guy.
Yeah, of course.
So that's that's kind of. I think it was a little more nuanced. It's not that you just can't tell your girls a problem. It's just like you can't ever like sacrifice the fact that you seem like a good ship to be on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you want to be like
You want the boss to come out, not to say that you're always the boss in the relationship, but like I'm just saying in the company analogy, let's say even the representative, you want the company representative to come out and be like, like things are going good, but we need this. You don't want the boss to come out and be like, yo, we're fucked.
Yeah, you don't be like the pilot who's like, does anybody know how to fly this thing?
yeah, exactly, right? Because then they're like, I'm getting off this plane and getting on a better one.
Yeah,
So that's probably the full synopsis of that.
that's accurate. That's
Which-
a good theory.
Yeah, not bad theory. I thought my hard drive theory was okay.
Yeah, you should start a BOYSCAST.
Because it's not even girl guy, really. It's like in general, sort of like I feel like it's a good theory.
Yeah, you start a BOYSCAST
Advices
theories,
are a little
theories
thing.
channel.
Yeah, maybe I could do a theories channel, theories and queries.
Just a specific,
me and
just
you could
all
do
the
one.
theories. No, just take all
Mondays
the
is theories and Wednesdays is queries. All right.
If Peter Schickley doesn't kill me first.
That would be crazy if fucking we got a knock on the door. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Daniel.
You've been fucking asking around about me.
I recommend you mind your business.
We definitely talk like that.
He does,
I
totally.
want you to keep my fucking name out of your mouth.
I hope so. I hope he's like actually a piece of shit. He seems nice.
Yeah, you're gonna get called from the Grammy committee. Like, what's this? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, dude? You know too much. It's
Yeah.
like someone.
This Shigley guy is gonna be the death of you.
He might be.
Boys, we gotta take another break to tell you about Mybookie. We're trying to save you money here.
And it is the best time of the year for sports. Right now, we have football season, basketball season starting, hockey season is starting,
Oh, you
and
fat.
baseball playoffs.
So why not get paid for your bets when you do them at Mybookie? You bet single game spreads, money lines, or parlay multiple together to increase your payout. Low contest entry fees and over $500,000 to be won. Make it so you don't have to be a pro gambler to have fun. So getting started is easy. Just visit mybookie.ag and use the promo code BOYSCAST on your first deposit and secure a double deposit bonus. We're saving you money here. We're hooking you up. The promo code's BOYSCAST. Get your first deposit matched dollar for dollar all the way up to $1,000.
Nice.
It's a big match right there.
Oh, yeah.
MyBookie is a proven sports book that makes it simple to bet and win. Make this your winning season exclusively at mybookie.ag and use the promo code BOYSCAST. And one more thing we got to tell you about FitBod. We're trying to get you ripped out here. Trying to get you shredded, even on tour. That's what they think you're not going to be doing it. On tour, me and JJ, we're gone 5 days. 4 days I worked out.
Nice.
Ran every single day. And that's the thing. FitBod, the best part about it is it changes you can put in what's in the hotel gym or whatever gym you are. It changes the workouts so they don't get boring if you want to do it on the road. So listen, I know that summer's over. It's hard to stay on your workout schedule. The calendar's filling up. It gets hectic. But FitBod is a good way to keep those habits in the busy season. FitBod's smart workout app scientifically tailors exercise program to your goals, equipment, and schedule so you can keep your full calendar and your summer gains. FitBod's smart workout app creates custom dynamic exercise programs based on your goals, experience, and equipment and varies your routine to avoid overtraining. You get to see your muscle usage, recovery, achievements, which is huge because you don't actually keep them in your head. You can keep track.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if your stock brain would like to see those kind of numbers.
If you don't track it, how do you know if you're doing well?
Exactly. And workout streaks right in the app. And also you're more likely to work out when you got a streak on the go. It's convenient, way cheaper than a personal trainer. For less than the cost of one session of a trainer, you can get a full year of personalized workouts with FitBod. A workout program for all of your devices. Also, you're on your own schedule. FitBod works with iOS and Android devices. So keep your workout momentum going. Get personalized workouts from FitBod that get tougher as you do. 25% off your subscription or try out the app for free. Try it out for free when you sign up at fitbod.me/boyscast. That's 25% off your subscription or try it free at fitbod.me/boyscast. Let's get back into it. So, bros, you obviously saw that.
Yeah. You know what's funny?
Did you actually watch it?
No. But someone we know, comic, who I'm not going to name anything past that, but posted.
He was in Bros?
Like 2 weeks ago, posted just an Instagram story, and it's like, hey, I didn't know it was a girl. And it's like, I didn't know I had a private theater right beside my house. This is awesome. Like, as a joke, because they were alone in the theater.
Okay.
And then I just didn't think anything of it. And then I think the next day I watched the next story, and she was watching Bros.
No way.
So she was alone in the theater.
Not a single person.
Only person in the theater.
Well, listen. This is what I'll say about Bros. Because, yes, I'm not going to watch the fucking Bros. The trailer.
Should we watch it?
No. Have you seen the trailer? It's like... Okay, you know what?
I actually have some real theories about this.
Yeah, okay. So me too. I've been actually I do have some theories about this also.
Interesting. We'll see if they're...
So basically, Bros, and this is what... there's like the whole thing, the trailer was like, this is a movie not for you. Like, the trailer was one step away from like
totally.
kicking you. You know what I mean? It was like,
how do you feel about movies, you homophobe?
Finally a movie not for straight people. What do you think? And then it did bad. And then Billy Eichner, who I think he's made some funny on the street stuff.
Agreed.
So everyone who isn't a homophobic weirdo should go see Bros tonight. You will have a blast. And it is a special, uniquely powerful story for a big screen, especially for queer folks who don't get this opportunity that often. I love this movie so much. Go Bros. So... listen, I know you got to sell tickets, and I know that you got to try to get on some wave or whatever, right? But there's a bunch of stuff, but I'll just say my overarching thesis, and then we'll start from there.
Yes.
We are getting in deep in Bros.
Yeah.
As
we should.
My overarching...
We're a bunch of bros.
We're just a couple bros,
right? Talking about bros. Bros on bros.
Exactly,
this is
right?
Bros on bros.
Probably the most part is that Hollywood is like 4 years behind cultural trends always, right? Like they started making this movie 3 years ago, right?
Of course.
And then they can't decide whether being gay is actually super normal and there's nothing big deal about it, or it's this crazy edgy thing that like no one is.
Right.
And so they toggle back and forth between being like, because if it's a normal thing, they would just be like, everyone should go see this movie, but they have to be like, this is like, finally someone's making a gay movie, and you're like, they made 4,000 gay movies this year.
You're like, are you missing? You think there's like not gay representation on television?
Yeah,
right.
Now? Like Superman's was gay.
Everything, yeah. Velma, is now gay.
Oh yeah.
And it's crazy.
There's no short. There's like 1 in 30 people are gay. Like in Hollywood, it's like way higher probably now.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like the most represented
20%
group,
of the whole population right now.
Exactly. So it's the most represented group. So it's just become like. They've won their battle where it's completely normal, but Hollywood was like, yo, we used to be able to get some heat by being like, we're on the LGBTQ thing. Now they can no longer get that heat because everyone's like, yeah, it's a gay movie. So they have to like go extra hard and be like, it's the gayest movie of all time. At the time when they told everyone representation is the most important thing in the world, people want to watch movies with them. Anyway, here's these movie with these 9 guys having an orgy. And you're like, okay, well, I probably won't watch that. And then also it's the same thing as She-Hulk where you go, guys have to watch this with their like girlfriend or wife or whatever. Like
Yeah, not like a bunch of boys being like, movie night.
Yeah, right.
Let's grab some beers.
So
and
they're going for a very specific demographic, the demographic that's like watching the movie almost like to stick it to white men.
Yeah,
and then
which is mostly women.
And my last point was also just from a movie making standpoint. Like if I was even like involved in this,
I don't think the name was a good name.
Bad name, yeah.
Like you doesn't need to be called Bros. It could be the same movie, not called Bros.
I agree.
And it like you would have
Right,
honestly,
Bros is a weird one.
Was like a poor choice of name.
Yeah. And then, well, anyways, my last thing was because if you have like the super gay movie and like obviously you're trying to be in that LGBTQ space and you're trying to be kind of like soft and you know what I mean, feminine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think he should have paired up with like the South Park. Like find a director like Judd Apatow. It's like you go the softest topic, the softest energy, 4 girls. Then we're gonna get the softest. There was like too many things that were just like it was too much. Like Judd Apatow already, he was always like pairing with edgy guys and sort of making soft movies. That was his sort of niche. It's like that works a lot better when the original thing wasn't so soft.
Of course,
also,
yeah, you need like some sort of contrast between the two things. Not
exactly.
Just like,
Everything can't be everything, right?
No.
So, anyways, those are my kind of original things. You tell me yours.
So I mean, okay. So obviously, there's a few things at play. One being there's the kind of obvious. I don't think he tweeted, but he at some point came out and he goes, "If you voted for Donald Trump, even if you're LGBT, if you're a conservative, don't see this movie.
Don't come see mine." That's what he thought. The numbers were gonna be a little higher.
Yeah, that's what he thought. He goes, "Yeah, but 81 million people voted for Joe Biden, so if like
you know what that is,
if
Danny?
most of them come see the movie, we're good."
You know what that is? That's the guy at the beginning of the night at the bar being like, "I'm gonna fuck that."
Yeah. totally.
I'm only here for tens, boys.
Yeah, he goes. He pulls out the strip of condoms. He goes, "Gonna be using all these tonight." And then at the end of the night, he's just like going home. He's like,
That's exactly that's what that tweet was. That's the.
But he's straight up. He goes, half the country don't go see this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, that's not a great start, Billy.
Yeah.
But I have actually a different theory. This is more of a science.
Oh, you got a theory. All right.
More of a scientific.
If this involves your fucking guy again.
No, it has nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him. So do you remember? I brought it up in our group chat. So do you remember? There's the article. There's an article, a psychology article from 2017 that said that they were showing pictures to people and like that the physiological response of straight men to gay men kissing was the same as them seeing photos of maggots. Do you remember that? There's an actual psychology.
Yeah, I remember them.
It's
saying
in
that.
It's like Psychology Today, or
but it's just that I mean.
But I'm saying you're like.
But all that study says is that like. You're kind of like it's grossed out as one part of your brain.
One part of your brain. I'm not saying like obviously this is specifically.
I'm sure it's the
reason.
same part if you see like a disgusting people have sex.
Of course. But I'm just saying that like they're like if that is in fact true, which they're saying this was like a peer reviewed.
They went too hard on it.
They just maybe went too hard, and then just like straight guys see that, and they're just like, yeah, I don't know if I like if that is in fact true. Which again, this is like a peer reviewed thing in some
they would
actual
consider
journal.
that homophobia. Yeah,
I guess they would consider it homophobia, but like. And yes, maybe it is homophobia. I'm just saying that could be a contributing factor. So you're now like half the people, and then you're just like chopping up this pie to the point where you're really just left with like a small sliver.
Well, who's it for though? Because like when they show titties, like you know what I mean. You're like. Obviously, low key, it's for the like dudes. They'll see a titty and be like, nice, right?
But the thing is, like, there's no stuff.
No
like,
women are
disgusted.
Turned on by 2 gay dudes having sex.
No, but they're not turned off, and they
are. I know lots of girls,
but
that
like
I don't think that's
not
hot.
that physiological.
You think your chick would be like, I'd like that would be hot to me to see you make out
not
with a guy?
hot, but not a physiological response.
If your girlfriend like saw you banging a dude, I think she would be like grossed out by that.
Yeah, obviously banging a dude.
If she has eyes.
If she has, I would too if I had a fucking mirror, but. It's more just like I don't think there's a physiological response the same as like based on this study. So, anyways, that's just a theory.
No, I'm sure that's like a part of it. I mean, that's a part of why. And it's also marketed like that, like the orgy and the thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Prostate and all that. It was like a graphic film, like
they tried to make what's like with the chicks. That was like the funny movie with with the wedding, whatever. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids.
They took that formula and they go, we're gonna do bridesmaids
For
gay guys.
Yeah, sure.
And you go, I don't know if it really like there's like the.
Well, I didn't
launch
see
for
the
that
movie,
right
so
now.
we're only talking about
We
like
should go watch
the
it.
promos with the box office.
Yeah.
So I just think that, so I think there's something to be said about what you were saying. And my theory is that like Hollywood needs to decide whether they can't keep flip-flopping their marketing strategy of being like, the first time this has ever been done, and no one wants this, but we're making it.
Yeah, no one wants this thing.
But because that's what they're saying, like nobody wants us to make this gay movie, and you guys are probably not going to see it, like because you're.
Yeah, and you go,
like,
well, are you right?
Yeah, it's like either they're lying
Yeah.
or they don't believe it.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like a hypocrisy in their own strategy.
And if you truly thought that nobody wants to see this movie, why are you making it?
Exactly.
Like other than a fuck you.
Well, because they don't believe that. What they
Yeah.
actually think is they're like, hey, if we pretend that like this movie's like fighting against some power, obviously,
Right.
that it's going to help us, right? But the truth is that power that's fighting against is like the mainstream thought.
Yeah. And
So it
again,
doesn't get any juice.
there's no lack of representation for gay people right now. So
No. And honestly,
They're grossly
a
overrepresented.
million people have pointed this out, but there was like, Brokeback Mountain was huge. There was gay movies that were
Yeah.
huge. Like, it always makes
But
me
the
laugh.
gay
'cause
stuff
it's like,
wasn't in the trailer.
it just makes me laugh, of course. But also it's like, that just makes me like the idea that they talk about this gay stuff. We know a million comedians just went on tour with JJ. It's like Tim Dillon's one of the biggest comedians in the world. Like
Yeah.
you would never hear like that kind of marketing of being like, you imagine being like, oh, you don't like Tim Dillon, you're a homophobe. It's
course.
like, no one gives, like, it's obvious that they're making up something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Brokeback Mountain, you know how many people probably went and saw the trailer and they go like, yeah, it's just a bunch of dudes and their horses. I like that. And they go
And
see it
they let
go,
the controversy
"What?"
speak for themselves. I bet Brokeback Mountain sort of slid it in there being like, you know
And
what
it
I
was
mean?
getting all these amazing reviews, and that was, and also that was
Oh,
just
there
a
was
good
also, I
time.
guess, there was
and
the
again, that
maybe
was like
people thought the movie-
two huge movies.
That actually
stars.
was a first at the time.
Yeah.
So it's actually, that was probably the majority of, it started out with straight people had a good run. Like, and also it was just like, I think it's just crazy to try to be like, there's some, first here and then say this stuff that like you hear every day, all day in every media publication.
Of course. I just can't tell it. Like, how can you be so?
It's a crowded
guess
market. That's the best way to describe it.
For sure.
The like, because there's a certain percentage of people that will like watch movies for like activist reasons. There's a certain percentage of probably gay dudes that will watch that because they actually think it'll be like a good movie. And there's certain people that maybe would like it, but they won't watch it because they think that it's like it was so marketed not towards them, right?
Yeah.
But at
And
the end of
movies
the
aren't
day,
even doing well in general.
there's that percentage isn't that great. And the market is so crowded for people trying to be like, hey, we're like representation.
Absolutely.
Like,
and it's probably hard for them. Like, I saw their ads on taxi cabs, and I'm like, I don't know if like a taxi cab driving around like Harlem or fucking the Bronx is like your demo for bros. Like,
Yeah, they couldn't decide whether they did need to show it to certain people. It almost seems like someone that like wanted their movie to fail, so then they could be like, of course.
yeah. Well, I don't know what kind of. That's a weird ass win. You go.
No, it's
yeah,
not.
we
It's
lost
not
$20
that.
million, but
Made our point.
we're the good guys here.
Yeah.
we're the good bros.
So I don't think that. Yeah, I think that's people that live in Hollywood. That in their mind, the rest of the world is like legitimately like such. Everyone hates.
I just
gays
don't get
so
it because like
much.
is Hollywood like not doing that thing that they used to do where if you did bad they fired you?
Not anymore. No, Judd Apatow's got enough
I guess.
goodwill.
Yeah,
cooking.
he's got he's got unlimited goodwill.
Yeah, he's gonna probably make 7 more. But they also, every day you turn on the thing and they go, a new person's gay. Like they just did one. They said they're making the Wizard of Oz and they're adding some gay
I
characters.
thought they were all gay.
Yeah, the Lion definitely.
Lion's definitely gay.
Who do you think is gay? The Lion?
All of them.
It was sort of making me laugh, the idea that the other characters are gay. Like like when they make the wrong ones gay, like they're making like the wizard who's a fraud gay. You know what I mean? Like the wizard comes out and he goes, "I'm a fraud. Also, I'm gay." Like
I'm gay. It's like doesn't even non sequitur. Not even talking about that.
I mean, you know what I mean? Instead of making like some of the sweet characters gay, you make like the witch a lesbo. You know what I mean? You make the
yeah.
You make the cranky witch a
That's
lesbian
actually-
because that's actually the cranky witch. Instead of on her broomstick, she's throwing a softball. She's working in a glove. You know what I mean?
This is gonna be like
She's got her softball outfit when you're
yeah.
on your broomstick.
all the flying monkeys are just gonna be white guys.
Yeah,
Flying white guys.
flying white men. Yeah,
Full size too, because they obviously can't be like little people.
They
'cause
can't
that's,
be little
that's
people.
not
Yeah,
cool.
just flying. All the bad guys just flying
6
white.
foot white men.
Just a
the
flying-
wizard's gonna be a Jew.
Flying Brock Turners.
Yeah, totally. The Wizard of Oz is gonna be a Jew.
It was making me laugh, the idea of the person that they introducing all these like gay characters, but only making it like ones they wouldn't want. What'd you want? You made 3 characters. Well, you're trying to beg and choose.
Yeah, was not enough?
Beggars and choosers over here. Probably one of the funniest things that I've seen that I've been like laughing at myself about. So basically, The Hill did this story, but so in the
This
army,
is mental.
yeah, you know what
This
I'm,
is,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
insane.
So it's the
This is
best
fucking nuts.
grid stuff, right?
Yeah, but it's just crazy.
So when people die, they can donate their body to science, right? And I've just donated my dick to science so they
Yeah.
can study the
You got
greatness.
the
You know what
smallest dick ever. This was attached to a human
I mean?
man?
they can
What?
they can study its abilities.
Grab the telescope.
Yeah. So and then this man, when he donated his body, and they kind of had some like shady dealings going on where the company that was getting all the bodies donated was selling some of the excess bodies donated, and then he found out that they used his mother's body to as a IED blast test. His grandmother. So like they took a 90-year-old woman's body and strapped it into like
A chair.
A
And then
chair.
they had an IED beneath it. And they go, like, honestly, imagine the amount of people who were like, that's probably like 20 people, you know, all like downrange. And they go, all right.
No one was
Nobody's
like,
like,
this is
are we
crazy.
doing this?
Yeah.
Like, was she like a military head? Like, does she love the army that we're doing this? Are we sure this is okay? And they go, yeah, it's all good. Everybody signed off on this. It's all good. Who wants to blow this dumb bitch up?
Yeah, I love the idea of the guy going to the office that day. He just wanted to see what was going to happen. Whoa! Her arm lands in his hand.
Dude, this is wild.
It is really crazy.
How many people must have signed off on this and nobody was like,
What do you? There's worse things though. Imagine they go, we're using your grandmother's body. We're just trying to figure out what level of torture Gaddafi took. You're just doing the ass like just shoving stuff in your
Well,
grandma's
like, wasn't there
ass.
like, don't they have these ballistic dummies? Like, remember that? What's the show with the 2 dudes? I can't remember what it's called.
Rectal torture. Would you rather have rectal torture when you delivered your body, or would you rather have IUD blow you up?
I'm dead.
You're dead.
IUD.
Yeah,
IUD,
exactly, right?
IUD, yeah.
No, they're just, it'll be funny. They're just doing like the grandma, like, what did you use my grandma's body for? Where you see how many kicks to the face a woman's
Before you,
could take.
before you totally cave in the skull. You couldn't just like make a plaster skull or something.
Oh, it actually wasn't science, but we do like to do curb stomp Fridays.
I hate to see the dumpster behind this place.
Just trying out, yeah, it just moves like that. They got her in arm bars and all this stuff. Just
And so what happened? Like,
they have her in the ring, like a wrestling ring for the army wrestling ring, and they're just tossing.
yeah,
her in
they're
there.
all doing like just
People's
Stone Cold
elbows.
Stunners. Does anybody want to do a tombstone on this broad?
Yeah, it's a morale test. What test? What did you? I did a test in the army. Yeah, but it was a morale test.
It was a morale test, yeah.
Just test how many dead bodies we needed to get the morale up for them to stunner them.
I mean, I guess this technically counts as science, but
Yeah, so
that's pretty fucking.
oh, it's great stuff. So I've got an even better thing on topic of army because, well, actually, there's a small thing, but apparently the army has been having like a real hard time recruiting lately.
Yeah, they have.
And a lot of people have been doing the collages of like the army saying like, numbers are 25% down, and then the like right beside it being like free sex changes if you'll join the army. Like they basically said
Yeah.
the free sex changes, like that should get the numbers up.
That should do it.
Yeah.
That's
the-
that
that's
Venn
the demo.
diagram full overlap.
Well,
right
they've got
there.
that's who they
People
got
who
the
wanna
Billy
be-
Eichner's fucking publicist. That's what they got. the same publicist for the army is the Billy Eichner publicist. Like, hey, America is the worst country in the world. Come defend it, and we'll cut your dick off.
It's so crazy too because you're like they're doing all this stuff
For free.
But you're like they're like obviously desperate if this is what they're doing, and then you're like just like raise the pay.
Raise the pay is the obvious, right? But the truth is, though, this goes back
Yeah,
to
like unlimited
ancient
budget.
times, though, that there's like a big known thing in like military theory and all that stuff was they used to just make like normal people would go to the army and they'd be forced to, or
Yeah.
they'd get like their crappy pay and it'd be like almost a crappy job. And they realized if they could make it this sort of like high ceremony job. That's why they have all the medals and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all that stuff is a big recruiting tool, right?
Of course.
You know, they come back like the number
You're
one
a hero. They make you get to be a hero.
Exactly, right? Which is actually fair deal because the number one way to get guys to do something is go, you know what? We're going to set it up in a way that girls think it's hot.
Yeah, you get status.
Yes.
There's guaranteed
So-
status.
which really, it's like cut to the chase, is guaranteed sniz.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Yeah,
in
it
the
is.
army and you come back and you're decorated, maybe not if you live in downtown New York, but if you live in the right place, you're going to go to the bar and you're going to get some snatch.
Absolutely.
So you legitimately,
Should we go to the
you're
army
giving a
supply?
guy an extra $20,000 a year in girls that are going to think that's cool.
Is that why stolen valor is such an issue? Because it's stolen sniz? Mm-hmm. Is that why the real issue? We don't care about you fucking LARPing as us. You're taking our
girls.
pussy.
You're
What are you
taking
doing?
our pussy, right?
Bro, I got my fucking leg blown off in Kandahar.
And you're just walking around.
And you're walking around with my goddamn women.
So this leads me to my next point. JJ Lieberman, friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
So this weekend, he has this meet. So there's these guys called Wounded Warriors, and they actually came to our show where you were at as well in Minneapolis.
Yeah, they came.
right?
That's where we met them.
So we
all.
met
And
them.
I
and they
did their
wanted-
show in.
So you did one with JJ.
Yeah, with JJ.
So
in
they
New
were
York
trying to do
a
something.
month
I didn't
ago.
end up being able to do it, but JJ's been doing these shows for, you know, all these people in the army. And the guy's super cool. And he was like, a lot of these guys have crazy stories where like the one guy was, you know, they're like machine gunners.
Of course.
Where he came back and you go, this guy killed like 150 people with a fucking,
Yeah, like a gun.
I was going to say a trigger that like,
Oh
like
yeah, like autumn.
yeah, whatever. I don't even know if that's true, but you know, crazy stuff where they come back and their mind's all messed up, and you know, or worse, like you know, you lost your legs and all that shit. So
course.
these guys do all this stuff, and you know, and obviously there's nothing that would heal them more than having JJ Lieberman come do comedy for them.
Tell them he's gonna fuck their ass.
Yeah, JJ's stand up's the only thing that could heal them, right?
He goes, I'm gonna fuck your ass. I was thinking with a
Apparently
comment.
they like it.
Yeah,
I'm
of
not
course,
trying
of
to
course.
fuck up his
No,
gig
JJ
here, but
no, JJ's the best.
yeah.
No, the show went great too.
Okay, so you did one, but so the reason I'm bringing this up is JJ got some
swag.
some swag.
Oh, I was wondering if that counts as
And this
stolen valor.
motherfucker has been walking around in his Wounded Warrior shirt. He got 3 free things on our last thing. So we go to the coffee shop, but we're in between towns, so we're kind of like small town gas stations.
Yeah.
I go to pay for my thing. He goes, gets the coffee. The lady goes, "Oh, on the house, sir." You know, he's getting.
Oh, JJ needs to fucking chill on that.
Well,
That's
but what is he supposed to do? She didn't say specifically.
Right.
He goes.
that is the best thing ever.
He said he's gotten like 5 free things.
Dude, I went with
from
my
wearing the shirt, but it's stolen valor. But technically, they go, he never said he's in the army.
Yeah,
he goes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
do work with this organization.
Right. So maybe they're just the fact that you work with the organization. Because, dude,
But I've been trashing
my
them
boy
saying it's stolen valor.
My boy, who you know, who was like he was in the army, like Secret Service guy or whatever. We went to the Rippers when he was here.
Did
like,
he get a stolen lap dance?
No, a few years ago or whatever. And it's like, you know, Sapphire, it's like $25 cover charge, and there was like 4 of us, and we go.
Let
up
him in
there.
for free.
He lets all. He hands them his ID. They look at it. They go, "Oh, you guys all
You're on with
all
us."
come in for free." They go, and they're all like, "Thank you for your service," blah blah blah, and like they let us all in for free.
Really?
Yeah.
For being in the Secret Service.
No, well, he's in the army. He had his army ID.
His army.
Yeah. But
So
just
you
like
do-
army ID, and they go because I think maybe some of them are I don't know, but they go like, or maybe they have a policy like
Right.
free tuggies for the army or whatever. But
You know what I'm saying? They send him over the special girl that's like willing to do the extras.
yeah.
Well, they do get some. The moral of the story is you do actually get some perks.
I mean, you're defending the goddamn country.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I've heard of these kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, I know certain places it's, you know, you get to be a Walmart greeter or something, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the extent to which you're kind of like getting free stuff all day long.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Not so bad.
Yeah. What happens if you're a cop, but also you were ex-military, but like cop because they kind of hate the cops?
No, they don't hate the cops over there.
Not over there. Yeah, I wonder if New York that works.
I had my I had a video this week as anti-cop, actually.
Oh, dude, that was so funny, man.
It was pretty
that
funny,
guy
right?
where he's like,
They give us, and I just wanted to clear the reason I brought it up actually because I wanted to clear something up because everyone in the comments and my comment thing wasn't working on my phone for some reason. On YouTube, the app was fucking
Convenient?
glitching. No, the app was glitching, but everyone was saying I should have paid the guy's ticket, and I sort of agree with that. But the guy said, he goes, I get these all the time, I never pay them, and he ripped it up and threw it in the garbage. I just didn't
Gotcha.
include that in the video.
gotcha.
So I'm not gonna like put the things together and then give him some money.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think they're right. I maybe should have paid for
So you
it.
can't smoke in Union Square?
insane.
What are you?
Guy was
that's insane.
smoking and two
Dude,
cops
all
gave him a
that's-
$300 ticket.
Go walk in Union Square right now. We're by there. It's like there'll just be 500 people smoking.
No, it's ridiculous.
So they just picked him?
People are smoking weed, which is legal now.
Yeah.
Canopies, back.
I guarantee you they are not giving non-white people. They don't have the nerve for that right now. Like imagine
Not a chance
the
they're giving
PR thing. If you
Dude,
go
there's
like
no
walk up on
chance.
some like black guy and you be like, here's a fucking ticket for smoking a cigarette
No.
with all the Eric Garner and all that shit.
There's no way. No, so it
That
was
was
very.
crazy.
It was very like.
I thought
what
he had
are
a
you
warrant.
doing,
Dude, I watched
pal?
that video and go like, oh, this guy must have like a warrant.
No,
And they like ran his name.
we were doing an interview.
I know.
And to be honest, at the time, none of me was thinking this is crazy because like I was so in like trying to make something funny that when the cops came over, I was more like, oh sweet, like
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't even crossing my mind. I just love like bothering people in positions of authority that are trying to do their job.
Yeah.
Especially like there's nothing that makes me laugh more than the idea of like, listen, pal, I'm trying to do my job here. You try to do your job. But
Next up, you're gonna be a police auditor.
yeah, that's
On
what you were
TikTok,
saying.
those audits where people are go, yeah, I'm fucking, yeah, try me, fucking pig, and they're like, whoa, dude, it's wild. And they go, get out of the way. You go, I'm on the sidewalk, piece of shit.
No, but it did like after I left, I kind of had like a moment of thinking about it, and I was kind of like, I mean, that was insane.
That's crazy. Police are
Yeah,
fucking,
what are you doing?
I think they're trying to get their rep back as being like pieces of shit cops.
Yeah,
in New
it was
York.
fading a little bit.
I guess. I don't know.
Even a guy had a ticket for smoking.
smoking?
By the way, we were sitting on a bench doing an interview. It's not like we were doing anything crazy either.
Yeah. It's like, what, you can't smoke in a park? That's a New
Real
York rule?
wild. Yeah. These
Fuck out of here.
defund.
Defund them.
So Kanye West is probably the funniest guy on the internet this week.
Yeah, he is. He's having a good time.
And I've been saying forever that like the losing like wild black dudes was going to be the death of the cultural influence of these people, because you know what I mean. The movements became so feminine. It's like, is there ever no one changes culture more than black guys? That's just like, I don't even think that's like debatable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. It's like there's a black dudes have a.
I mean, by
huge-
default, they are the trendsetters, so they have to. Almost.
Yeah, and obviously it's not the same everywhere, and
No.
you know, obviously white guys, blah blah blah. It's not like across the board, but that is a big influential part of culture. And when you like started turning the like fucking liberal progressive bullshit against them, that was I could tell that was going to be the peak.
Yeah.
Which I've said, but. The thing that was making me, and I always like anyone that's fighting the system a little bit, like the Charlie Sheen energy, even when they're
totally. And
even
he's,
when
like,
they're losing their
posting-
mind a little
Dude,
bit.
The crazy thing is everybody's still texting him, and he's like, you know that your text
know
is
you're
going
getting
on
posted.
Instagram in 5 minutes. Stop texting him.
Totally.
Or like, there's like does iPhones not have like a disappear mode or something? I don't know. Like,
Put him in vanish.
yeah, vanish mode or something. I
You're
don't
right,
know.
though. What are you doing texting Kanye West? You know you're getting
The
posted.
last 20 people who texted him wound up on Instagram. Why are you
Yeah,
texting
what are
them?
you doing? Though you know, unless they all do know and they're posting. They're basically posting for the gram.
Maybe. That's possible.
But the thing that made me laugh was just no one knows what to do with it, and it just keeps popping up, and he won't shut up, and blah blah blah. And there's people like Sean King were posting like, you know, this guy just wants attention, this and that, and it was just making me laugh. The idea of like, this is why he is like in some ways playing like a funny game, because they go, this guy just wants attention, but yet you can't not give it to him.
Yeah, of
like we're
course.
talking about him, but I don't give a shit. You
Yeah,
know
I don't
what
give
mean?
a shit. I like Kanye West.
Yeah, it was almost like I had even because they're all saying this. They're like, the only reason he's doing this is to get attention, because that's the best thing for them to say. Probably,
And he's
right?
like literally one of the masters of getting everybody to talk
and
about
you're
them.
still doing it. He's even saying like, yeah, I'm just doing this. I'm doing this to make my clothing line bigger. I have the White Lives Matter shirt. And then they all post it and they're like, he's just doing this for attention. He goes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
But it kind of reminded me of like, when I was thinking of
Remember
like,
when he said he was bankrupt, and then they're like, but he also everybody was like, oh, this is crazy. He had this like dominated the news cycle, and then it's like, yeah, he had an album come out a week later. Like, it's all just like
it's always that. Yeah, of course. It's always sus.
it's always something to sell.
But I was thinking in terms of like conservatives and liberals when I was watching him on Tucker Carlson. I was saying that like,
Oh, I did not see that. Was he crazy on there? Or
yeah,
what?
I feel like there was a pretty funny part of it. But the first part, there's just the thing I was thinking was like, a good way to describe it is like, if you're not invested, conservatives often can be like an eye roll. I think a lot of times, you know what I mean? Like
course,
some of the stuff is like an eye roll, and then liberals are more like a mosquito. Like they're,
Yeah.
do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's bugging you.
Yeah, so they're more like something that you're like, well, ugh, okay, like like a dad that's being corny, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A dad that's trying to skateboard. That's the kind of energy
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And then like liberals is more like a mosquito that's buzzing around your room and you're trying to get rid of it. But I think the thing is, once you can put a piece of glass up and then you see the mosquito and it's just hitting the wall, now it's funny.
Right.
And I think to some way, a reason a lot of people have figured out how to just be on the other side of the glass of the mosquito and just kind of laugh at it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, they are kind of parody. A lot of that stuff you see them, you're like, you're almost a parody of yourself.
Totally a parody.
Yeah. What
But,
did he
okay.
say on Tucker?
Okay,
though?
so the funny part was, so he does the White Lives Matter shirt, which was like, 2016 4chan shit, right?
Of course.
So he's doing all, and then he goes
with
on.
Candace Owens. I didn't know they hung out.
I think no, he had a thing with her before they were talking, right? But he basically all of it was stuff that you've heard before, kind of thing, nothing too crazy. But the part that I thought was so funny was he's talking to Tucker Carlson. He's like, how did you get the idea to do this White Lives Matter? Kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then Kanye West goes, he's like, that's the thing, like, as an artist, as a creator, like, sometimes I just know that something is the right idea for the right time, and my energy like comes from God, and this is why he's saying it. It was just like, yeah, I mean, it was on 4chan 4 years ago.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was like he's literally the equivalent. Like he's just doing 4chan stuff from 5 years ago and saying like, it came to me from God.
Yeah.
Like this genius idea I had, and he was like, yeah, you're trolling people, but like you didn't invent that. Like everyone's been doing that for 4 years. Like he's gonna come out with like an Islam's right about women shirt and just be like,
it's okay to be white.
yeah, it's okay to be white. He's just gonna be like his new line of like frog kek shirts and stuff like that. And it was just the idea that he was this, it's obviously like a funny marketing place, and you're in the position where you can get away with it. I guess to some degree you're somewhat untouchable and you're a billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're not white. Very.
You're not white.
importantly.
All of the things
All
that
the
you can kind of
things.
pull it off, but just to be like straight up doing like 2018 or whatever 4chan stuff, and then talking like about your process was making me laugh.
You go, yeah, all right, man.
He's gonna come out tomorrow and he's gonna have like this genius idea to troll Shia LaBeouf. You know what I mean? Just like straight up like all like OG internet stuff. I came up with this word, social justice warrior and cock, and I just think that he's gonna do a cameo.
wild.
Like you know what he's gonna do? Probably next album is gonna have like James Damore as like a cameo, and he's gonna be like, but the way that he was. The way that he was
He's gonna start
touting
sampling.
how much of a genius he was for doing like what every like edgy streamer
Yeah,
does.
of course. He's
You
gonna
know
like
what I
start
mean?
sampling podcasts.
James Damore talking about.
Yeah, talking about differences between men and women.
Yeah, he's gone full
Auto-tune it.
4chan. He's just saying everyone's. He's one step away from like talking about like the number of countries Jews were kicked out
Of course,
of. though.
yeah.
He's getting
in there.
He's getting real close because he was doing all the blacks are the new Jews NBC stuff, but it was like, I guess he's a good. If anything, he's like a good at like rounding up all the kind of cultural stuff that's popping on the internet and kind of
bringing it
to the forefront. But
Yeah.
that you didn't like not one of these things. Like you didn't. That was a joke on the internet
Of course.
for 4 years.
I wonder if he tested it out with an All Lives Matter shirt and he goes, nah, well, let's go white.
Yeah.
Like he goes, it doesn't quite say what I want this to say. I want white lives matter.
Like if you wanted to expand on it, he would have said some version of go with like Indian lives matter even.
Yeah.
That's not funny, or I take it back.
Yeah.
But my point is,
I mean, I
didn't
guess he
invent
says, he
it.
goes, my kids
It's a
are
guy
white.
sampling. It's a guy doing like a cover of a song and then talking about his genius.
Of course, yeah.
It was a cover. That's the perfect
Yeah,
way to put
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's a band like doing their cover of Smooth Criminal, Alien Ant Farm, and then coming up and talking about their songwriting process.
Yeah, you go,
That's what it seemed like to me, which that was making me laugh.
Yeah, he's on one. He's on one.
Definitely
I
on
wonder if there's any repercussions.
I don't think so because he doesn't have anything really to take away.
Like, does he sell less tickets? Does he lose?
No, he
his
sells
clo-
more tickets.
Yeah, so
He sells more
nice
tickets.
move, Kanye.
His business is doing well, or he'd stop doing all this stuff, right? Because at the end of the day, he probably cares the most.
He
about
does
making
care about
money.
making money, yeah.
So
I mean, I bought mine.
yeah. Did you buy from him? No, you made it.
No, I
for
made
your
it.
sketch. Yeah. Anyways,
It'd probably be like $250 if he sold it. He doesn't sell them. I looked, but
he doesn't sell them.
no, but they'd be like hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a tough one. Like, you think there's gonna be like the people wearing them?
The what?
Like, do you think you will start seeing people wearing them?
No,
Who are just like,
I can't imagine
nobody?
that pops off like that. No. So I can't imagine he's selling a lot of those. He did say he was like some of his things. He tweets like a madman or his Instagram stories, right? But he was like, he goes, just so you know, Fashion Week happened last week, but you wouldn't know that because my shirt's the only thing that mattered. Like,
I mean, kind of.
But you're like, yeah, for sure.
He did
I mean, if a presenter went onto like the Grammys and just said the N-word 40 times, that'd probably be the talk of the town too. You know what I mean? Which is I'm not even saying it's like I'm against his trolls or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just he's giving himself a little too much credit.
For sure. And he will not ever give up that they're trolls.
Yeah, you go funny bit. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure. But he's like, what do you mean bit?
Yeah.
Like, what bit?
I think he does.
I'm a genius.
I think he said it was funny at one point. He
Oh,
was
really?
kind of going back and forth of it's funny and not funny. But
this.
I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that was making me laugh the most. And then let's just do a little longer since we when I came out on the wrong day today.
Yeah.
And we got ads and stuff, but I think you sent me this, the D-bag tax.
The D-bag tax.
The D-bag tax.
I did send you the D-bag tax.
So New York women are charging men up to $3,000 for failed relationships and bad dates.
That's mental.
Well, it's just funny the way that it's presented, right? Because it's the one girl that comes out and she was like, she had countless people cancel on her, so she sent a man a $50 deposit if he wanted to go on a date with her again, right? So that was just like nothing, right?
But the thing is, like, him being like, okay, that's a red flag.
Of course.
Like, you go, okay, I'll send you a $50 deposit on our date.
Or this is him like thinking it's a joke, like ha ha ha. I could see myself being like, well, you canceled last time, like send me $50, and be like, sure, what's your like? I could see myself like that being like a jokey thing almost.
To the point of sending the 50.
Yeah, I'd do something like that.
Yeah,
but to me that'd be like banter almost.
Right.
Like to me, the sending the $50 would be like, that's how far I'll take a bit.
Sure, yeah.
Gotcha.
Here's $50.
I could see myself if I was really.
Would you go
full
full bore on the bit, and then after the day he goes, anyway, so I showed up, send the 50 back.
You're gonna want
please.
the 50 back.
She goes,
yeah.
What?
Right. You get the first round since you got the 50.
Yeah.
Right.
First 50's on her. Like the waiter comes.
Oh, I'd give her the tax if she didn't bone. You know what I mean?
Bone tax.
Just the tax. But then, so this other girl, what she says, this is the part that for me was hilarious. She goes, for me, it was just a way to say you're a D-bag, and here's the monetary value of my time you've wasted. This 38-year-old told the Post. I'd give her a fucking 38-year-old tax if you ask me. Duke said she sent around 6 Venmo requests ranging from $1,500 to $3,000 depending.
How does it start at $1,500?
Well, when you did you read what the things are for? Over the years of men she's dated, she's listed as
extortion.
Secret. She goes, these are some of the things that she got men to send her a D-bag task for. Infidelity, secret marriages, or having money. So you went out with a guy, found out he's married, and then blackmailed him.
You're extorting him or blackmailing.
This cute thing I've done when a guy was a dick.
I call it the D-bag
Yeah,
tax.
you found out the guy had a wife and you said $3,000 or I tell. This is not a cute, like,
I know.
you blackmailed a guy. By the way, that is actual blackmail that you could go to jail for.
For sure.
And she's
goes,
publishing.
No. I called it the D-bag
The
tax.
level that some women don't have to have accountability.
Yeah.
It's like, you're admitting to a crime right now. You blackmailed a guy.
Multiple
men.
Yeah.
Duke says the Venmo requests have been cathartic. They're a little cathartic. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she goes, all that new shit I bought, very cathartic. I bought a Louis Vuitton handbag, catharsis.
Banging a married guy and then fucking getting him to pay me $3,000 to keep my yap shut was a cathartic experience. You fucking psycho. Too much. Then she's submitted to men who have offended her in various ways. Yeah, I also think fucking getting a bunch of money is. I also think it's cathartic if you guys go to RyanLongStore.com and buy a t-shirt. That'll be cathartic for me.
Yeah.
Actual catharsis. One man had promised to help her with rent and required a not so subtle reminder. So she went out with a guy and then I was like, yeah, I'll pay your rent if you keep your mouth shut. And then he goes, then the month came and he hadn't sent her the money for rent and he had to call him and say,
do we know if she's just an escort?
I don't think so. She's talking about going on dating apps.
Yeah.
Just this guy said he would pay her rent if she keep his mouth shut about the wife. And then she says, well, yeah, but just you're going to get a not so subtle
How
reminder.
is she finding out all this stuff, though? She's doing like real. She did like obviously is
Maybe,
investigating.
yeah, who knows what it is? Maybe the guy told her, but another abandoned her on a weekend getaway. Also, this girl stinks so bad.
Yeah. Like she's not fun.
Another abandoned her on a weekend getaway. You know how much you have to suck to go away with a girl for the guy to just completely
Straight
dip?
up ghost you mid vacation. But in her mind, she goes, well, good thing I got that
It's
deposit.
a good thing I get the tax. Well, that's the thing is, obviously, the girl is so crappy that she wants money, and you go, here, I'll give you 500, but like lose my number.
But make it 1,000. Just never talk to me ever again.
You know what I mean? She does have a nice little racket, though.
That is
Just
a real-
being like totally present yourself as like a psycho bitch, find out stuff about the guy, be a nightmare, and then charge him to leave
She's
her
probably
alone.
like planting drugs on them and stuff.
Of
Like,
course,
she's,
you know
like,
what I
doing
mean?
the thing.
This is a literal psychopath that you're just like, what does it cost for me to never see you again? And then a third dude ghosted her and then resurfaced a month later, married to another woman. So that'll cost you.
Yeah. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. That ain't gonna be
Just
cheap.
found out you have a kid. Ka-ching.
Yeah.
Just these dollars.
Congratulations. Also, ka-ching.
Yeah, exactly. About half the time, the suitors have paid up. Duke has been surprised by the success. It's not that surprising that married guys are paying you to fucking shut
It's like
you
a
up.
mobster being like, I can't believe how successful I am selling protection. It's like, I just
know.
threatened to burn down your business, and if I don't, they pay me $500 a month.
They're literally exactly like that. For several months, and then he stopped communicating with her, and he sent another woman's nude photos by accident. So again, blackmail. She goes, well, I won't tell. I mean, you know who really doesn't like to, you know who keeps his mouth shut? George Washington.
With those wooden teeth.
Yeah, exactly. As for Sarah, she never went on a second date with the man who paid the deposit, but no matter, she came out ahead because she got $50. Because yeah, the guy just hated you and fucking didn't ask for his money back.
Or he's like, wait, so I have to pay you again for the second date?
no, the date was the deposit because he canceled once.
Right, but I'm probably he goes like, I'd love to see you again, and she gets like her calculator.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
not
we
good,
could probably
too.
get you into a second date for probably like $550.
we were
What do
sitting
you
5
mean
or
get
6?
me into a second date?
I'd love to see you into a dinner movie situation. The salesman. Yeah, you look tired. I'd love to see you maybe on a long walk at the beach. I'd love to see you kind of do a dinner
What do you
afterwards.
say?
Love
What
to
do
see
you say?
you.
You think that works for you? You think you can afford that?
Love to see you potentially coming back to my place after, but we're gonna have to talk financials here. So you're an escort? No, what?
No,
What?
whoa, what?
Whoa.
That's gonna cost you. That comment is not gonna be free.
The guy didn't even care to get his $50
Yeah,
back.
he goes,
Oh, fuck. Anyways, the D-bag tax is
the
straight-
nerve of some people.
just straight up extortion.
Imagine a guy like you hear about that sometimes where guys are like, yeah, I went on some date with some chick and then he's like she totally dicked me around, didn't want to be there, so I Venmo requested her for one of the drinks that I bought, and then he's like villain on the internet for life.
Sure, yeah. Villain forever.
He goes, can you send me $10 for
Girls
that drink I bought
fucking
you?
extorting guys for $3,000 after a couple
Yeah.
dates. Writing articles about it, and she's like,
Yeah, writing article. That's the crazy part. Being like, and I'd like to write an article to
I'm gonna
advance.
fucking
my-"
give a fat tax. That's what I'm gonna do. You
Good
go.
luck, man.
You go. Yeah, I'll be 50. You touch their belly. You didn't put that in the photos, did you? There, sister?
Yeah, I brought a scale.
I brought a scale.
Like you have like one of those like
Everything over-
You got your bag, your little bank.
Yeah, everything over the registered weight's an extra $2.
That's not gonna be cheap.
And you broke the scale.
You broke the scale. That's a good scale.
Okay. All right. Hope to see some of you guys at the shows coming up. Go buy my merch.
Go follow my
RyanMomStore.com.
YouTube channel.
I have track pants even too. We got,
Really?
Dude, I have 2 sweaters,
Sick.
track pants, a t-shirt, a crew neck, a whole bunch of shit.
Do they
It's
have?
actually
Do you have the
pretty
track
sick.
pants with like the dick print already on them?
Yeah. We got dick
It's like
print
just like
track
the
pants.
shadow.
The track pants are sick, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're gonna like
dude,
the track
I love a good
pants.
track pant.
These ones are awesome.
Nice.
They say a fella's like, they're sick.
Sick.
Yeah. All right. Okay. See you guys later.
Later.
The boys. It's the BOYSCAST. The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the